When I was a lot younger, I used to have the rather naive belief that journalism was objective, meaning that its facts were fairly represented and not influenced by personal feelings or opinions. When I was a lot younger, I also had a full head of hair. Things change. Today, in the age of fake news, it is more important than ever to back up your arguments with evidence. It's not that nobody will believe what you say without proof, just not necessarily the most intelligent folks. That's why today we're going to talk about how to conduct research and how to get your best research to back up your evidence for your arguments. So where do you get your proof? Well, another thing that was different when I was a lot younger is the internet as we know it didn't exist. So whenever I had to do a research paper, I had to go to the library and look through a bunch of heavy, dusty books. Today, through the magic of the internet, we have the ability to type some words into a search box and see a legion of links pop up. But what are you searching, and where do you search for it? Let's start with the what. Let's say that my claim is to increase student productivity and reduce stress, principals should require at least 30 minutes of recess during each school day. So what if I just type in recess? I'm seeing something about how school recess may be different in the age of coronavirus, but I'm also seeing stuff about the upcoming summer recess of Congress, the Disney cartoon called Recess, a children's book called Recess Queen, and even a hemp-infused sparkling water called, guess what? Recess. What did I do wrong? Maybe my keyword was too general, and I can narrow my sources down and get more useful information by being more specific. So what if I instead typed a phrase like, why recess should be longer, or benefits of recess for students? Now I'm seeing a variety of sources which I'm sure can give me useful information to support my claim. But which do I choose? I'm seeing some of them are from websites with domain names like .com, .net, .org, .gov, and .edu. Which should I choose? .com is short for commercial, which means somebody's selling something. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't get relevant, accurate information from a .com, but you should be aware of what they're selling, just in case it could present a vested interest which might impact what information they're presenting and how. .net is short for networking, and it originated as a designation for tech-related companies like internet service providers. .org is a preference for nonprofit organizations, .gov is for government organizations, and .edu is for schools. So how do you find the truth in the midst of all this alphabet soup? Well, if I were looking for information on how much recess time is allocated in the average American school, I might find myself on a school system website that ends in .edu. And if I were looking for medical research on the benefits of recess for children's health, I would probably find myself on a site like www.cdc.gov, a government website, the website for the Centers for Disease Control. Now, I'm not saying that governments can't be biased, but I do know that governments have a responsibility to factually report information to the people who put them in power. So I'm not looking for the total absence of bias. I don't even know that such a thing exists. I'm looking for facts, the weight of which will supersede the presence of bias. Now, I'm sure you've heard that you shouldn't be using Wikipedia as a source. The reason being that anyone can upload information to Wikipedia, and that information isn't necessarily fact-checked with any particular rigor. But even with more reputable news sources, you should be aware of bias. Let's take a look at how differently the news was reported by just a handful of major media sources on Friday, June 26, 2020. Now keep in mind what was going on in the world at this time. Presidential election coming up between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, fallout from international protests against police brutality, and a new record in U.S. coronavirus cases reported after states tried to reopen from quarantine. Again, I don't want to tell you where to get your news. I'm just saying that you should consider your sources. Seek out reputable sources while always remembering that reputations can change. When in doubt, go to the One World Education website, which we try to keep updated with helpful resources, or ask your teacher for research advice specific to your topic. So, to wrap it up, when you make an argument, research is important, but just as important, pay attention to your sources. Search with keywords which are specific, not common, so you'll find evidence relevant to your topic. Journalism is rarely free of biases, but you can counteract this if you know what the bias is. Your research is the backbone of your argument, and if you don't back it up, someone will have a bone to pick.